Welcome back to today's episode. Story 1. Am I the a-hole for throwing my sister out of my house at her own birthday party? I, 24 male, have 2 older sisters, X, 29 female, and Y, 31 female. I've been seeing C, 32 male, for a year and a half now. Yes, there's an age difference. No, it has not been an issue. We don't live together. And initially he resisted a relationship with me due to the age difference. And I was wary myself. But we had a lot of conversations and gave it a shot. He's honestly the best person I've ever dated. Sex is great, communication is great. He respects me entirely, never raises his voice, takes me on dates whenever we can, cooks, helps around the house. Total dreamboat basically. He's never made me feel inferior for being younger. Never tried to parent or control me, encourages my social life and is as supportive as can be. Anyway, when we first got together, I was 23 and he was 30. He turned 31 a month or so after we made things official. I mentioned offhandedly to X that I was seeing someone and she asked the standard questions. I was honest about his age and she said gross, lectured me about creeps, and I dropped the topic. My sisters and I are all best friends and to keep the peace I mentioned him at a minimum, occasionally mentioning a date we went on or a gift he bought me. Cut to last month, we are celebrating my sister's 29th birthday. COVID is a non-issue where we live at this point. I invite my boyfriend and this is the first time he's meeting my sisters. So it's me, my boyfriend, my sisters and their husbands. Things are going well. C is charming, the pants off my brother-in-laws. We have some drinks and then it starts. X starts off with casual questions that progressively gets more pointed. Do you usually date girls in their 20s? Plot twist, no he doesn't. Was he attracted to me because I was younger? So on and so forth. I finally just crack after trying to play off her questions with jokes to ease the tension and point out that yes, we have an 8-year age gap, but her and her husband have a 7-year age gap. X was 23, her husband was 30 when they met. And she's a hypocrite for being an ass to someone who's been nothing but doting and loving towards me. We argue, she says she's trying to protect me by trying to humiliate my boyfriend. And it culminates in me telling her to get out. Her husband was the DD and took her home. Y says she doesn't have an issue with what I did, but kicking her out of her own birthday party in my house was maybe a bit much, and she left with her husband. C is supporting me but says maybe I should apologize just so I can keep the peace. He doesn't want to come between my sisters and I. X went off on me when I called her a week later, told me I was a dick. She was doing her job as a sister. Y is just not even speaking about it because she doesn't want to take sides. I feel that I should apologize to keep the peace, but was I really the a-hole for kicking her out of a party for her when she was that disrespectful? ETA information. I didn't speak to her privately. Thanks, studio apartment. But I did intervene, trying to deflect her attitude with jokes and steer conversation elsewhere. She kept talking over me and ignoring me, and her husband subtly trying to tell her to calm down. She ended up asking him if he was into BDSM stuff or had a daddy kink, and that's when things happened. My sisters have met my boyfriends before, and in my personal opinion, that is not an appropriate question to ask anyone ever, especially not in front of family. And the implication I got from that question was she saw him as some kinky weirdo who was taking advantage of a young girl to live out his kinks, which is not the scenario at all in our sex life. Not the a-hole OP. I wanted to tell you to apologize to your sister since it was her birthday and all, but it's not your fault her birthday was ruined. She ruined it herself by being inappropriate and disturbing. The fact that she and her husband have a 7-year age gap between them only made things worse. If she has a presumably successful relationship with a man that is much older than her, then why doesn't she believe you can too? I understand that she was trying to look out for you, but she was very much the a-hole in this situation for making everyone uncomfortable and not taking the cue when you wanted her to let it go. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. It stopped being a birthday party when she hypocritically, as you noted, decided to turn it into an interrogation of your boyfriend. She doesn't have to like him, but she shouldn't go appointing herself your protector when you're a grown adult, however much trouble she might have seeing you that way. And by all appearances, he's done nothing to warrant that besides existing. Not the a-hole. An 8-year age difference just isn't that big of a deal, especially the older you get. You were 22, 23 when you met, so an adult who has had time to go to college, get a job, or live on your own, and he was just 30. The fact that your sister has a similar age gap makes her behavior even more ridiculous. She can apologize for trying to embarrass you in your own home. No reason for you to keep the peace if you have no idea if she will be civil going forward. Not the a-hole. Your sister was obnoxious, hypocritical, insulting, and in my opinion, wrong about the age thing. Her behavior was inexcusable and intolerable, so you were justified in not tolerating it. She ruined her own birthday. 6 years ago, the age gap would have been questionable, too big a difference in life experience. And it is almost always pretty creepy when someone over 21 is dating someone still in their teens. That experience gap narrows significantly though when you're talking about the younger person being over 21 and the older being barely in their 30s. She sounds delightful, by the way, and obviously has good social skills and self-control if he took that insulting barrage with such grace. Story 2. Am I the a-hole for not allowing my future mother-in-law to invite her friends to my wedding? Background. Future mother-in-law is traditional. My partner and I are not. She expects my mom to pay for my entire wedding and is appalled that I disagree with that logic. My mom will be paying a third. I will be paying a third. And my partner will be paying a third. My mother-in-law will not be contributing to pay for the wedding and has not offered to help. We are getting married at the courthouse with only a small group, 30 people present, and we'll have a larger reception to follow at an inexpensive venue. Still looking. We decided to do the courthouse option because of the significant money it saves. My future mother-in-law texted me saying that she should be able to invite whomever she wants because she's the mother of the groom, and that her mom did that at both of her weddings. She also laid on the guilt, saying that she will be sad and disappointed if she doesn't have any of her friends there. I told her that I was not comfortable with having her friends at the wedding, since I don't know any of them, and because they haven't bothered to get to know me over the past 8 years. My partner and I have been together. I also explained how it gets expensive having a higher count of people and we are trying to be mindful of costs. The conversation argument somewhat escalated and she accused my partner and I of being too cheap and that we should elope if all we care about is money. But we don't want to elope. It hasn't been resolved, but my partner and I are now considering letting her invite a friend now to appease her. I still don't like the idea of having strangers at our wedding. I'm wondering if I'm the a-hole for feeling this way. You're not the a-hole, OP. Your mother-in-law sounds unreasonable and very annoying. She has made no contribution to the wedding, and yet she has demands. You're absolutely not an a-hole for not wanting strangers in your private small wedding. You need to not mind her and think about the cost. If she doesn't understand that your budget cannot afford her having her friends there, then you and your husband should discuss possibly not having her around for the wedding. Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law is being ridiculously entitled. You have said no, case closed. Do not allow her to draw you into reasons, into an argument. It is not open to further discussion. Also, why is she pestering you and not her son? Best to set the moat around your marriage now, or she will continue to overstep. Not the a-hole. Your mother-in-law is being unreasonable. This is your wedding. That means you invite who you want to invite. You want to be surrounded by people you know, not people you've never met. And you won't even know what this stranger is like until you meet them on the day. What if they're rude and obnoxious? They would ruin your reception. Your mother-in-law needs to suck it up and get used to the fact that this is not her wedding and to butt out. Not the a-hole. I have never gotten and will never get the idea that the parents of the couple get to have their friends at their kids' weddings. They aren't the ones getting married. If a wedding is to celebrate the new couple, parents inviting their own friends undermine that by making a party into celebrating their achievement as a parent. I might feel differently if a parent is helpful to fund or host the reception. Of course, in this case, a woman is inviting people to someone else's party. Why should she bring guests to someone else's party? Story 3. Am I the a-hole? My bro's girlfriend went through my room and threw out my stuff. I had just come home from university, so had moved all my stuff back home. My brother's girlfriend really has no understanding of privacy and always just walks into my room, even when I'm not home, and has left the door shut, and always asks to borrow my stuff. Bit of a background. They had been together about 5 months at this point, and she lives an hour or so away, so she used to come and stay at our place for a few nights every week or so. She's entitled and manipulative. My mom and I aren't fans, but we are hoping my brother will work out. She's crazy on his own. I wake up early one day and head to work. As usual, my brother was also at work, but my mom and brother's girlfriend were at our house. She decided that she wanted to clear out my room without asking me first and get it all done in a day or when I came home. My mom agreed and helped her for a little bit, but eventually left to run some errands and do some work. This meant that basically she took loads of my stuff and just put it into bin bags to be thrown away. Barely looked through it. A lot of the stuff I have in my room is pretty new, and I'm also a massive makeup fiend, so I have lots of new and expensive makeup all the time. For me, my bedroom is a private place and has loads of personal things I wouldn't want to share or have people snoop through. Boyfriend's girlfriend doesn't understand privacy. For her, I believe she just wanted to know where things were in my room. Long story short, boyfriend's girlfriend ends up with 10 bin bags worth of stuff. I had a lot of shit in my room, so basically it would have been impossible to go through it all properly and organize it. This is what I had been planning to do with my friend for a while, so I felt a bit defeated and annoyed, as my friend would always tell me to not even start sorting without her. Her dream job is to be a home organizer and sorter. I came home that night to be told what she had been doing all day. I was panicking inside because she doesn't know me well enough to know what I would want to keep or throw out. I don't know her well enough to have a go at her and didn't want to make it awkward for my brother. I was so pissed off. It's my space, but it doesn't feel like mine anymore because I don't know where anything is. I now have to ask brother's girlfriend where my makeup remover and skincare stuff is. I don't even have a number to ask her any of this. My brother and mom see I'm annoyed and call me ungrateful and that she was just trying to help. From brother's girlfriend's point of view, I understand she was just trying to help me. She also said to my brother that she was trying to help me get my life in order and give me the motivation to better myself. Since this event, I've mentioned it to a few close friends and family to see what they thought. And they have all said that brother's girlfriend was in the wrong and shouldn't have done this unless I had asked her to, or she had asked my permission first. But what do you guys think? Am I the a-hole? Now for some comments. Not the a-hole. Good grief, the lengths people will go to not cause a fight. when someone is a total jerk astounds me. All of these people are so wrong. I would love to see their reaction if you filled 2 trash bags from their bedrooms with their personal items, hid the bags, then asked for a thank you for cleaning up their crappy messes. Dollars to donuts, you wouldn't get a thank you. Not the a-hole. You are an adult and your stuff is your stuff and not to be touched by anyone else for any reason without your permission. Period. I would tell all 3 of them straight up. Do not touch my shit without asking me ever. As for the girlfriend, I would tell her to go in your room with all those bin bags while you watch and put every single item back where she found it so that you can deal with it the way you want to. Not the a-hole. Brother's girlfriend doesn't understand, although respect and appreciation might be better here because she may understand and just not care. Boundaries. She has no right to invade your space and discard items. I could have been persuaded to no a-holes if she didn't put them in discard bins. It's all around ridiculous. Your mom and brother are a-holes in this scenario for not helping you to underscore those boundaries.